All right. Thank you so much for joining Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi. I am so excited that my guest, Angela Gardner, is here, and she's going to tell you all about her. Angela, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Gardner. Some call me the personality professor. I have over 20 years experience in studying personalities and leadership. And some may know me as the mayor of Biscotti Park because during COVID, we all missed community. So we created a virtual village right online that women can connect and intertwine their communities and really feel like we were connected, even though we were worlds apart.
Oh, that is powerful. That is powerful. So the impetus to start this community or to, build it up?
Well, actually, I started a virtual coffee shop because I am a homeschool mom and I used to do business consulting with the personalities and leadership and decided to homeschool my daughter. And you can't take a 10-year-old with you to corporate clients. They just don't like that.
No.
So I had to figure out how to work from home and completely revamp my business. And that was back in 2017. So I prayed and prayed and cried, and I was like, what are we going to do? Because I am a very social person. And when I could, when she was in school and I didn't have clients, I would hang out in the coffee shop. And I would literally tell everyone in my network, I will be at the coffee shop between this time and this time, drop in, have coffee. You never know who you'll meet. And we just had like pop-up networking events or co-working right there in the corner coffee shop. So I was really missing my coffee shop and being at home. And so I went online and accidentally created a Facebook group and quickly grew that of other women who were kind of the same as me. Like, I just want to get to know people. Why do we have to be so salesy? Can't we just support each other? Can't we just have coffee? And so we already had this group created. And before COVID, it was kind of running along just fine. It was fun. It wasn't any big deal. And then COVID hit and a lot of people were literally calling me. My phone was ringing, and my phone doesn't ring, but it was ringing off the hook of people saying, "Are you still doing this coffee thing? Because now I'm working at home and I'm trying to figure out what to do, and I need some socializing and I need someone to talk to." And I'm like, "Yeah, come on in. We're still doing the coffee thing." So everyone had so much fun. We literally pretend like you come into the coffee house, you order your cup of coffee like you would at the coffee bar, and you tell people what you're doing for the day. Are you grabbing it to go? Are you heading off to work? Are you going to hang out and work on something? Are you here to meet somebody? Like, what are you doing? And so people started hanging out to the point that a few people said, "Well, I think I'm going to build next door." And we're like, "What? How would that work?" And so we started playing with, well, okay, how would that work to have a neighbor, which turned into 5 neighbors. Then we had a neighborhood. And then pretty soon we were up to, I think we have 25 village owners in the village. So we're getting our structure underneath us now and getting organized. So we're doing open houses at this point on the weekends. So you can come in to a virtual space and tour the village, tour each location, meet the shop owner, get to know other people, and really grow not only our unique communities, but bring them together and let
Hmm.
them kind of build their network. So it's really I did not plan it. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And when people said, "Hey, could we do this?" I said, "Why not? Let's see how it would work." And here we are.
That is so that is powerful. It's like collaboration coffee.
Absolutely, 100% collaboration. We are all
Mm,
about collaboration and no competition ever. It's all about collaboration.
mm, that is phenomenal. I mean, especially, is it all women or?
It is, which is even more rare.
Yes.
It is 100%. There are a couple of communities within the village that are not, they have men and women. But for the most part, it is women who run the communities inside of the village. They may have, men that come into their establishment. So they are coming into the village. Eventually we will probably have men groups in the village, but for the most part, it's all women. And we have had, and knock on wood, we have had zero drama, zero, through all of
Let me
the.
knock on wood.
Right. I mean, it has been, I've had people call me and say, "Oh, Angela, aren't you totally exhausted? Isn't this exhausting, having to put out fights all the time, or having to babysit people and having to make sure no one's getting offended?" And I'm like, we don't have that problem in my group. None of my groups have that problem. And we're women from around the world, all different backgrounds, all different ages, all different cultures. And we have had zero drama,
Mm.
all love, and all, there's like plenty of room. So I don't know. I'm very blessed and thankful, I'm going to
I
say.
was gonna say, what do you attribute that to? Because you're right. I mean, we love to say, all women and this, that, and the third, and we want to get together, but we know that typically, and I'm one of those like that. I can't do drama. I can't do it. And so I don't a lot of times get involved in those kind of things, and even in some groups, I stand back a little bit and watch a while and just see, if I need to jump out because I can't do the drama. I just can't do it. And I identify more um with the male archetype just because of that. And I work with men, I don't care. But I just can't do that drama. And so the fact that you don't have drama going on, that you didn't have any, is like super amazing.
I know. And all I can say is from the very beginning, um, it was an answer to prayer for me. I said, "This is what I need. I need
Yeah.
my coffee shop back." And it was presented. Here you go. I said, "Okay." And the only thing I could tell you that I could attribute it to is that I just have said yes and been obedient. And the women who come in, they are all on the same wavelength, the same values, the same mission. They too are tired of the drama, but there's a few that come in kind of tiptoe and like, yeah, let's just see. I hope you're right. I don't believe you, but I'm gonna see. And yeah, it's been amazing. It's just an amazing journey. And that's why I do not take credit for any of it, because it is beyond me. I, as a human being, could not have created that environment.
Wow.
Not going to happen.
Gotcha. So, wow. So it's super supportive. Um, do you have all ages in the group, or is it, young people, older people, middle aged? What is really the component that you can see?
Well, in the coffee shop, our largest demographic is usually 45 and older, but we have as young as early 20s in there. Some of our groups in the surrounding village, we have one group that serves only women 50 and over, and they're called the Fiery Grandmas Clubhouse, because they are all about, like, we are of a certain age where we are not going to mind your feelings, and we're not going to worry about stepping on your toes. Those women, yeah,
That's
they
my
hang out
group.
in, yeah, that I was going to say, you might want to check that group out. They're
Yeah.
very, very spicy. We love them. And so they have their own group, and of course we all mix and mingle. There's a nightclub, and that actually has a broad range. You have like millennial ages all the way up, to, there's a large group of 65 and older who are wanting to learn. So I love the groups that have the wide age range,
Yeah.
because then those of us who have been there, done that, can speak to the upcoming generation and say, oh, okay, so this is the tried and true method. And then opposite is true. We can look at the younger generation and say, all right, so tell me, like, how would this translate? Okay, so way back in the day, I used to do this all by hand. Where would I find that now? And how does that work? And is that even relevant anymore? Like where does that belong? Right. And so the two generations kind of bridging that gap is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And many of our communities have that happening in the age ranges.
Oh, that is so nice. That is so I'm looking at you, you are glowing. It's like I can see the passion. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that is so cool. So, all right. So explain, how does it actually work? So someone finds your community, and how would they know, what place to go to, which village
Ah,
to be a
well,
part of?
behind the scenes is where my personality nerdiness, I guess you would say, kicks in. My years of personality studies. So when the village started growing, it occurred to me that if we were building an actual brick and mortar village, and I were to pick a spot in town to build, I would want to build where my audience, my customers were going to walk by and happen to stop in. Right. I wouldn't
Right.
build in a strange part of town where they're not going to come. So we laid out the village according to personality style.
Oh,
So um, the village owners then, when they want to come into the village, we have a conversation about, walk me through your location. What happens at your location? What kind of people come to your location? What are they going to be doing there? All of these things, which gives me a personality profile of their either their business or their community, whatever that is, so that I know, okay, so it would land in one of these four communities because everyone who's like that is in that community.
gotcha.
So when you collaborate with your neighbors, everybody's serving the same community, the same audience. So they literally can virtually walk past your door and find you. So how that looks is if you go to our website, it's all on a website, biscottipark.com, because it started in a coffee house. So we had to stay coffee themed. Biscotti Park is our village. And so when you go in there, if you scroll down, each of the neighborhoods is described, and you can literally click a button and it opens up and you can see all the businesses in each neighborhood and meet all the shop owners. So no matter where you go in there, you will find all of them. You will be supportive. All of them are very encouraging and welcoming and open. And our biggest mission, we just actually added a diversity officer to our board, and our biggest mission is to make sure that everybody is included and supported and celebrated for their uniqueness and what makes them special. So, any of our communities that you pop into, you should definitely be welcomed with open arms. Anybody. I don't care who you are, anybody. Except for maybe if it's a women's only. The men might not feel so welcome.
Right.
In that case, I can't really help you. But we can send you to a different community, where the men are welcome, right? For now. We have some hubbies who are like, hey, what about us? Like, don't you need a
Mm-hmm.
fire station? Don't you need a pub? Like, what? Can't we open something? So soon, I'm sure that we will have some men roaming around the village. You just never know. But yeah, it's as simple as go to the website, poke around. Don't be afraid to push all the buttons. No one's going to ask for your credit card or anything like that. Everything on the site is free to look at and open. If you do wander into a territory that says, oh, this costs this much, just back out if you don't want it and go somewhere else. It's all good.
That is awesome. So now, did you do this like as a nonprofit, or how did you do
Well, we didn't intend on doing it in the first place. So we're kind
it?
of figuring out as we go. I figured that maybe, originally my prayer was for 10 girlfriends. Honestly, I was like, Lord, if I could have 10 girlfriends, I would be happy. He sent me 100 in the first hour.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
like, okay, I guess we're doing this. So now with our collective village, I think last count we were at about 90,000 people, right? So at this point, it is free to join the village. You can actually get an address in the village for free. We are forming a chamber. So just like you're in your town, right? You can join the chamber, and that gives you like a higher access to people. You get to be the welcome wagon. You get to do like different events in town and advertise and all of those things. So that will be a paid feature. But we want to make it open. Really, this was born out of like people don't feel connected. Some people are sitting at home all alone, and they didn't get shut in with their family. They are alone. And so we really wanted to help people feel that they really have a community, even if they can't reach out and touch them. They have a community, and they can reach out 24/7, and someone's always there. So it's always going to be free to build in the village or to come into the coffee house. That will always be free. If you want a little higher, if you're building your business, then we can help you there too.
That is, girl, that is such a powerful vision. And I love the fact that you're just allowing spirit to bring it to you and show you how to unfold it. Because to me, that is like the best way, because we all try to do things, and I'm sure that there were things in the past that you tried to do and it just didn't work out because it wasn't guided, divinely guided.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, this is like so amazing because even the fact that you set out on this journey, and on this path to connect people, because I mean, you're right. There's so many people out here that, they don't have any family. They're sitting in their house fucking depressed, and the anxiety is overtaking them and stuff like that. And get on another pill when really they could just need to be, to have some company. They
Yeah.
could just need some companionship to talk to them, you
Yes.
know, and
Yeah.
not trying to pitch them or anything like that. Just community. And I think that this is so fabulous. It has my heart full because I love and help people just to be safe, because I think about it, I'm sure I haven't checked, but I'm sure that the suicide rate has gone up,
Yeah.
and a lot of it is because of this, because people are not used to being alone, not used to, sitting by themselves. And so, yeah, yeah, I think it's fabulous. So, let's talk about your other thing. What is the other thing that you do?
So the other thing that I do is I use the personality, my 20 years in personality studies and leadership, and I help women who usually have gotten to a certain point in life, whether that's an age or a stage or some kind of transition.
Mm-hmm.
And we wake up, for me, it was about 35, wake up and be like, who is this person? Like, I have changed myself so many times to please everyone else or meet everyone else's expectation that I don't remember who I am and how I started, right? Yeah. And so what we're doing with that is helping people first get back in touch with who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were kind of talking before, last year was a big year of personal development for a lot of people, because what else are you going to do but read and take classes, right? We didn't have a
Yes.
lot of choices, so everyone's kind of full of like, okay, I've learned all these things and this is all awesome, but if you don't first know who you are, how do you even begin to apply these things, right? You could just start down the path of copying someone else, but what if their path isn't your path? And then you're
Right.
just going to get lost even more.
Yes.
So what we've been doing this year is one, helping women remember who they are, who they were designed to be, like before the world got to them, like breath
Mhm.
one, day one. Who is that person? And what does she have naturally already? Like what was she born with? What capabilities, what strengths, what skills, what desires, and how does that look? Then life happened, and what did you learn from life? What skills do you have? What experience can you share? All the things that you've like gathered on your journey, right, to this point, plus all the other stuff that we've learned thinking that we needed to learn one more class, just one more class, just one more class.
No,
No.
ooh, that sounds interesting.
Right. Gosh, she's really cute. Looks like she's making a lot of money. Maybe if I give her $500, I could be cute and make a lot of money, right? I've done that. So,
Like,
like,
man, she's everywhere. She looks like she's having, what do they call it? 5-figure months. So let
mhm.
me give her $1,000, and this way I can have 5-figure months, and then it doesn't happen that
Exactly, because you're not her,
way. Right.
right? You're you. And so the faster we get back to being who we were and on the mission that only we can fulfill, that's when everything else will line up. That's when the life that we've been waiting for will line up. And the people that are waiting for us, we can help them finally. And yeah, the money comes with that. But you got to first know who you are and what you're supposed to be doing in this world. Otherwise, even if you do make a little money or you are a little happy, you still know there's something else. It's not quite right? There's
Yes.
always something missing.
Yes. So now, do you typically work with I call them women on the change. So like, late 30s to 40s, 50s, even 60s. Do you typically work with those beautiful ladies?
I do. They hunt me down.
Okay.
I think I was telling my husband just the other day that even when I was in corporate, my most favorite people to work with were the ladies who were almost retiring, and they were just kind of hanging out biding time because they knew, like, oh, I'm retiring in 5 years. I'm not going to let you stress me out and pull me into full time, honey. I'm not going to let you pull me into overtime this weekend. I got grandkids coming. No, sorry, ain't going to happen. Those were my people. I love working with them because I, as a young new manager coming up way back, I would go to them and say, all right, so before I waste my time and yours doing something that you've probably seen done 5 different ways, could you just tell me what used to happen that worked right? Because if we start there, then we can figure out how to translate whatever this
Yes.
other stuff is.
Yes.
And so when you do that and you humble yourself and you're like, look, obviously you have been here, you know way more than I'm ever going to know. So could you just kind of help me so that I don't mess everything up and makes people repeat? Because most people, they want to say, oh yes, to the boss or whoever, right? Oh yeah, whatever you want. And in the meantime, they're thinking, ain't gonna work. That's
No.
never gonna work, right? Here we go again. Oh, we just got rid of someone who did that, right? So I was like, okay, I've been through that. I don't want to go through that. If someone would have asked the person who's been here and this is their first job ever and they're almost retired, I bet they know more than anyone else. I don't care what position they had in the company. And so those were the people that I drew from and let mentor me, even though, on the
They
job
were
scale,
smart.
exactly, they knew
Hmm.
what was going on. And boy, what an awesome person to have in your corner when things go south, right? Because they have the trust and the credibility of the company. They've been here a while, and they can say, hey, she's just doing her best, she's just trying her best, don't get all upset at her, because new managers tend to get a little uppity and full of themselves
A
when you're
little?
first new, just a little.
Ooh.
Especially when the personality like me, I'm like, oh, my personality will like blow everything up so that I can make it again because that's exciting to me. That's not a good way to run a business. So what I have found is that even now when I have my own business, those women are the ones that come to me because we speak the language. I understand and I'm respectful. And I know that, yeah, you might not know how to set up your email, but that doesn't mean you don't have a ton of other things to teach me, right? So I'll happily sit here patiently and explain to you as many times as
Yes.
needed how to do whatever it is that you need to do, because I know that if you had to do whatever it is on paper, it would have been done, and it would have been done way better than I'm going to show you how to do it, right? You just need to transition of like, okay, this is the way it used to be, and this is the new system.
Yeah.
What in the world? How do I get this piece of paper into the computer? How do I do that? And it's as simple as that. It's not the knowledge is still valuable.
Yes.
The process has changed. It doesn't
Yes.
devalue the knowledge of how to
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
And a
Absolutely.
lot of the things, since we have this new processes and things, we've gotten kind of lazy. And so
Kinda.
kind of a little lazy.
Just a
And
little.
so, yeah, so our excellence is not there, right? We don't have that like need for excellence, and the way things look sometimes are not as great as they could be, because it's easy to just push the button and off it goes. It doesn't really matter. So I think there's a lot we can learn from each other in both of these. And I'm kind of in the middle of the two generations. So I do good at translating and bringing those groups together to say,
Hmm.
all right, so what's the best of each that we could, maybe if we combined, then this group could be amazing at doing whatever it is we're working on and stand out from the others, because our secret sauce is that on our team, we got people who know how it really should be done, like to the best of its ability,
Hmm.
and do it in the technology version, which is rare to find these days. So that's what we're doing behind the scenes with all of our programs.
I was gonna say it's phenomenal when you think about it because yeah, we're there. My husband is at the place where he can retire shortly, like within the next year. So he's there on the job like that. So he talks to the younger guys, and they come on, and they don't realize as old as he is because he doesn't look, like super old, and he's fit, as far as um he works out and all that stuff. So he doesn't look it, and he wasn't a man that abused his body. So, he didn't do a lot of drinking, and he never smoked, and that makes a difference people don't realize as you age. So
Mhm.
they'll be talking to him, and they'll say something, 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 yeah, about our age and something like that. And they'll be in their 40s. And he's like, no. He's like, no. you know. And then I laugh because I think about what my grandmother used to say all the time. She would say, I would say stuff to her, and I'd be asking her, what do you think I should do about this and this, that, and the third? And she would do me like Jesus, and she would give me this parable. And I'd be like, what is she trying to tell me? And then she would say, just live a little longer.
Oh.
And I find myself saying that now to the younger
Mhm.
people because I do the same thing. I go to work, and they think that I'm in my 30s, but I'm 52. And I'm like, no, 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 no. 30s is long gone. And I'm grateful. But yeah, so then I'm able to speak to them and speak and say, hey, why are you doing that? You going to school, think about this, think about that, consider this, and they actually listen. Um, better than some of my own children, but it's funny that you say that, and I'm the same way. I love to listen to older people talk about things, and I'll even go and ask, what do you think about this? Because this is what I'm thinking about. And they're like, that you might want to consider this, or you might want to think this way. So I think that is like so huge and such an awesome, major, big deal. So, one last thing, we're going to wrap it up. You're going to just share where people can find you and all that stuff, but I want you to um, give one last thing to somebody that's watching that maybe is looking for a community, or trying to figure out what where their place is. What would you say to them?
I would say, um, absolutely come visit us in Biscotti Park. Absolutely. But find a place and find a group of people, because you are like the 5 people you hang out with the most, right? So hang out with people some people, they're a little farther ahead than you, people that you want to be like, but also people who are on the same path as you, so that you don't accidentally get distracted. And so if you do get distracted, they can pull you back
Yes.
and you won't get lost as easily. But absolutely start figuring out and remembering, whether you're journaling or however you do that, who you are, and practice walking in who that person is, and find safe places to do that. Our only rule in Biscotti Park is to be yourself. That's our only rule. You never have to apologize to us. Life happens, things happen. We don't need excuses. We don't need to know where you've been. We're just happy to see you again. If you walk away for a
Yes.
few months, that's awesome. Come back. Yay, oh my gosh, how have you been? We need to catch up. What have you been doing? Right? At the same time, when you're in community and something happens, especially these days, right? Then people notice that you're missing and we can check on you.
Yes.
Which is very important, because if you're not in community and something happens, who's going to
Nobody
know?
knows. Yeah, exactly. I wholeheartedly agree, because yeah, because a lot of people, like we were saying, they don't have anybody, like you have your husband, you have your kids, I have my husband, so at least there's somebody here that if I went missing, they would notice. and
Right.
and it's just that's so much powerful. All right, so let people know how they can connect with you and where they can find you, and also the community.
So everything that anywhere you can find me on any platform is going to be at the @ symbol Biscotti Park, Biscotti Park, PARK. Our website is biscottipark.com. We're making it real easy to find us. And you can always, if you go to the site, you can always scroll down and click where it says Coffee with the Mayor and have coffee with me. I'd love to meet you and chat, see where you might enjoy hanging out in the Biscotti Park and how I can best support you, because I love making new friends, and I love introducing my new friends to their new friends and their new community.
That is so powerful. This time always has to come, but I have enjoyed it so much. This has been such an amazing conversation. And I say this after every conversation, but I still keep saying it. It I learned so much, and Angela dropped so many nuggets. I appreciate you for coming on. I thank you for the connection, and I'm definitely going to check out Biscotti Park as well, because it sounds like something that I've been looking for as well. So anyway, so if you are looking for community, please check out Biscotti Park. Check out Angela on everywhere, her site, Biscotti Park, at Biscotti Park. I'll also include all of those things in the description of the video or the audio wherever you are watching or listening, so you can connect with her easily. But thank you so much for joining us at Straight Out of Savannah, talking with Tammi, with my guest, Angela Gardner. So thank you so much. Bye
Thank
now.
you.